like most estates, like if you were to generation skip in your will and say that I want my grandkids to get it, they'll pay double the estate tax when that gets distributed. But if you have it in a trust, it actually avoids that. The reason they're trying to penalize you for skipping generations to avoid estate tax. They've made generation skipping laws now that regulate it. But when it's in a trust, it makes it easier for me to move it around in a shell game. And the government knows what we're doing. They're allowed this to happen. But they know that we're just going to keep these in segmented in a way that it won't ever equal what the estate tax is worth.
So why is it double for children?
Because they want the estate tax for the first one that you skipped and the second one.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So they defeated the purpose, right, of generation skipping. But we generation skip and trust all the time.
Of it.
Yeah.
Fuck
And
you,
when you look at, if you look at $1 million, look at $1 million. If that, if you do 100 million, it's easier because it's going to be subject to estate tax. So 100 million, right off the bat, 40 million is going to go to the government. So then you have that, and then it goes into trust, and even if it doesn't make any money, each successive generation, as it gets split, it's like a shotgun. Your wealth turns out to just be nothing after just 3 generations.
Wow.
And so it's changing the way I'm doing trust lately. I was telling him about a book called, it's a great book, even for a layman. It was written for a layman, so it's a very easy read, but it's called Entrusted. And it's a fantastic book on wealth preservation, but also it's just about how to pass your family the skill set to make money like you did instead of just the money. Because the money they're just going to spend, they don't have value in it. So I mentioned that 58 billion in California. This is California. 58 billion in their unclaimed property fund. It's ridiculous. That's just that's stuff that's lost. So this kind of touches on where I'm going out with Entrusted, is that most estate planning attorneys are going to just divide your assets. It's divvy up, divide, and distribute. That's what they do. But they don't talk. And what about your values? What about your beliefs? What about the things that put you in the position you are today that you want your kids to know? Because those of you with really small kids, how old are your kids?
My daughter's 17.
Okay, 17, and how old are your kids?
1 month and 2.5.
Okay, so if you were to pass now, they would know nothing about you. Fair to say, right? So what we do here is we'll do what they call legacy interviews, where we'll sit you down as a couple, if it's a couple or a single person. If you want to do this, totally optional. So if you have kids, it's moot at this point. But we sit you down at whatever age and stage you're at and say, look, talk to your kids about this stuff. And I interview you about topics, beliefs, values, how you got where you are. Give me your story. How did you get where you're at today? We do this, we put it on digital so that later on his kids when they're 16, 17 can look at this video of their dad and mom and know what they believed in, and they can share things with them. So that's a touchy-feely side of what we do. That's a little bit more than what an estate planning attorney does. But also, if you look at most estate plans, you'll see that they're written to divide and distribute wealth with an eye, design. Most attorneys won't spend the time to handwrite and hand think and put in intents. What are intents? What are intents? What conditions do you want to put? If you believe in education, a lot of people are like, well, then you don't get your money until you graduate college. Well, that doesn't work with some kids. Some kids aren't going to college. How many people in here didn't go to college? You're doing just fine, right? So it's like a lot of people, you have to really think about your family dynamics, about how do I want this left? Do you want them to reach some certain age or stage or do something? Or do they, can they just borrow the trust? The trust says that's the kindling on the flint. So you can make them go get their flint and learn what you want them to learn, and then the kindling is the money that you use for the trust. So that's not easy to do when you're writing a trust because it's almost all handwriting everything. Most estate planning software is just going to divvy up, divide money. That's all it's going to do. So we really take a lot of time. Our firm, we take a lot of time, which is me. My firm is me. We take a lot of time actually getting all the dynamics in there so we can make sure that your stuff actually, you're giving your kid an opportunity, not just a resource. You're giving them an opportunity as well. So we take that into account.